Hi guys, and welcome to another Bootstrap 4 video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, in this video we're going to show you how to use some simple CSS to get some great hover effects, and it's all already written for you. I mean, I like to write CSS personally and create my own stuff, but for a lot of people that's a chore, and I understand this, and there's some great free resources out there. I'm going to show you one of those today. So I've thrown together this little site here. We're using a bit of animation we did on a previous video. It's got a couple of buttons and a few images and some icons, some font awesome icons on there. And we're going to add some hover effects to these buttons and images and icons really easily. Now I'll put this link below the video here. And it's for some hover CSS, and it's written by Ian Lunn. So thanks to Ian for writing this. And what he's done is he's put together a bunch of CSS that's already written. And you can just download the files. I'll go through all that in a moment. And if I go to his demo page, here's some of the demonstrations: pulsing, growing, grow, rotate. There's some pretty interesting little CSS effects right here that could take you quite a while to actually create. Like I say, I like to create my own, but if you don't, then this is a very easy solution. And there's some very good ones here. I particularly like the shadow ones, actually, that one. And you've got some speech bubble stuff here that you can use as well, and some curls. And on this page, like I say, I'll put the link below. It'll tell you all about it. Now it's free for you to use for your own project, but if you're building a project to sell, then you've got to buy the commercial license, which is only $14. But for just $4 more, you can get the extended commercial license and build as many projects as you want. So it's a very, very good deal. So if I go back to this page here, this is the GitHub page. I'll put the link below here. If we just scroll down a little bit, it gives you a demo here, and that's all I've got here. I just clicked on the link to the demo page here. And the first thing you're going to want to do is download it and install it. So if we scroll down just below that first one, we'll hit the download zip file. And as you can see, it downloads the zip to your computer. Now you want to save that to somewhere where you're going to be able to find it and put it inside a folder. Or at least that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to hit show in folder. Here we go, and I just put it into a folder here. I'm going to right click and unzip it or extract it. And this is what we've got. If we go inside there, we've got CSS, we've got less, we've got SCSS. I'm just going to be using the CSS today. And all you need to do if you haven't got the page up is you can double click on the index.html there, and it'll bring up the demo page in your browser for you. So if we go back to the site, now what I want to do, here's my website. Here's my website folder with the index.html for the site, and I'm only using one image on this site. It's that one right there. What I want to do is copy the CSS file from our hover master, Control C to copy, and just paste it into my website folder here. There we are. Let's open this up. Now I don't want the demo page one, and I don't need the map file there. So I'm going to grab those two and just delete them. Those two we do want. We're going to be working with this one. The minified version is just a smaller version of this. As you can see, it's slightly smaller, and what they've done with the minified version is taken out all the gaps, so it makes it really difficult to read. So if you want to edit your CSS and change colors and stuff like that, I'd go for the regular CSS because it's a lot easier to read. Okay, let's just move those back out of the way. We'll bring my website folder back up because I'm going to open it, my index.html page, which is this whole page here, with some free software called Brackets, and you can download this text editing software from a link below this video also. Okay, so here we are, and if we look at the instructions, tutorial link tells you how to start setting things up. We've already downloaded the code and we just want to add this link to the CSS file to our site. So I'm going to just hit Control-C to copy, and I'm going to put it in just below my Font Awesome link right here, which allows me to have Font Awesome on my site. So there it is, and it's linking, as you can see, to that folder CSS, which is in our root folder, so it's linking to CSS, and inside the CSS it's linking to the hover CSS. CSS folder, hover CSS. So it's written all the styles for us. Okay, so what do we want to do? We've got it all set up to use now. That's all we have to do to get it set up to use. So here's our site. Let's start adding some effects to these buttons and images and things here. Well, let's have a look at the demos and see what we actually want to add. Got those two buttons at the top. Let's do a sweep right and a sweep to left. And to employ this, all we need to do is put HVR dash and the name with dashes in between, all lowercase. So this one's called sweep to right. So if I go back to, it explains this in all the documentation, so do have a read. Let's go find those buttons. They're down here somewhere. There's our menu. There's our buttons, our first two buttons on the site there. And here's the class, button success, button primary. So we want to just add HVR. Everything for this is HVR dash and the name of the actual button itself, which was, we'll do sweep to right for that first one, and perhaps sweep to left on the second one. So we'll say sweep dash to dash right, and I'll just copy that over to the next one right here, just a gap after the class that it's in, and I'll change that to left and save. Control S to save. Let's go back to our site and refresh. And after I refresh, those buttons should have now those hover effects on them. There we go. Sweep to right, sweep to left. Very easy. And you can also apply that to images. So let's just apply something to that image. What should we do with that image? Let's say, what about wobble vertical? And again, it's exactly the same thing. Let's go down. Here's that image class, class image top, image fluid, rounded circle, and everything, like I said, HVR dash and the name of the effect. So it was wobble vertical, I believe. If I've spelled it wrong, it won't work. Control S. I think I've done it right. I think it was wobble vertical. There we go. Now when we refresh, this should have a bit of a bounce to it. There we go. Very easy. You can also do it titles. I've already put one in there. Look, I'll show you how I did that. Let's go back here and let's see which one we want. We'll use that one that I just demonstrated there, and that was a shadow, wasn't it? Border shadow effect, and that was float shadow. So let's go down, and here's the one I put in earlier when I was checking it out. So here's the actual button. Let's do it to the card title. Let's put it on the card title. So here's the class, here's the card title. So all we need to do, what is it? HVR, that's right. Every one of these just has that in front of it. And it was float dash shadow. Control S to save. Back to the site. Refresh. I can't remember which one I did then. I think it was this first one, wasn't it? There we go. Now that's got that little floating shadow with it. And you can go on and on. I'll do a couple more just for demonstration. It's very easy, very quick. So if you don't like writing your own CSS, it's really handy. Let's do a curl top right on that one. So back to our site. Let's go down to these buttons right here. What does it start with? HVR. That's it. And that was curl. Top right, I think. Top right. Okay. Save that. Control S. Back to the site. As you can see, I mean, it's pretty obvious, but there's the classes that existed. You can have multiple classes, no trouble. And all I'm doing is putting an extra gap in there. Hover dash name of whatever the effect is with dashes in between there. So Control S, back to the site. That's that first button again. This button. So when I refresh, it should now have that little curl effect. There we go, that sort of peeling paper effect. And as I say, you can use these on just about anything. I mean, you can use you can probably use it on a div. Let's put one on a div and get the whole thing. Well, let's have a look. That's going to be a whole card, so that'll make the whole card do whatever it is. Well, what do we want a whole card to do? No, I don't want that. Something like that. Pulse grow. Let's try pulse grow. See if it works on a div. Pretty sure it will. Here's a div. Here's the class. HVR dash pulse dash grow. Control S to save. Let's see if it can make that whole. I did save, didn't I? Yep. See if it can make that whole div save. Again, that was that first div. So at the moment nothing happens. Well, it does with the things that we've got there, but let's refresh and see if the whole div will wobble. There we go. It's pulsing and growing. So you can do the whole div or you can do the whole section, I'm sure. So again, big time saver there. That's really great. Okay, well, let's move on down. That's a little over the top with all these weird things going on there. It's sort of pulsing and shadowing, and okay, that's enough on my eyes. Now I'm using Font Awesome here. Have a look at some of our other videos if you want to learn how to put Font Awesome in your site. It's free and they're very effective and very widely used icons. They're great. So let's have a look here. You have to treat these a little differently. Because you actually have to wrap them in a link. I think I've gone too far. There we are. Speech bubbles, icons. Here we are. Okay, let's do something like let's make it spin. How about that? Let's make that icon spin around, and all that is icon spin, HVR icon spin. Now let's just click on this how to use icons, because I know we've got to add a link. Yeah. Okay, we've got to add a link to the icon. I'll do this in a moment. Add a link to the icon with the actual icon effect. And then the icon itself, we've got to give the class of hover icon, HVR icon. So let's do that. And it was icon spin. Okay, let's go and find those icons. Here we are. Here's one, icon class, font awesome, font code. Now we've got to wrap it inside a link, which is, or an anchor tag, A, and it's href. And the name of the where you want it to link to, so put it whatever you want in there. I'm just going to put a hashtag. That will just link to the top of the page. Then we've got to give it a class, and the class is the name of whatever that hover effect that we want, which was I think it was just icon spin, wasn't it? Double check that, because if I don't do it right, it won't be correct. It will not work. Yeah, icon spin. There we go. Okay, so I've put that in there. Hover icon, icon spin. Let's close out that anchor tag. And we want to put the icon actually inside it. So Control X to copy and put it in between the two A tags there. Now we also have to give this the class of hover icon to make it work. HVR, or HVR icon I should say. Okay, so we've got the actual effect class in the link there, and we've got the hover icon class to make that affect the icon itself within the icon itself there. Control S to save. Let's go back to our site and refresh. Well, before I refresh, yeah, see it doesn't do anything right now when we hover on it. Let's refresh. Now hopefully when I hover on it, it should spin. There we go. And like I say, you can link that to anywhere you want. I've just got it linked to the top of the page. So there's some pretty useful little hover effects, time savers if you don't want to write a bunch of CSS. Like I say, thanks to Ian Lunn. This link will be below the video there. Big time saver. Like I say, I enjoy writing my own, but if you don't, it's a great quick option. So I hope you've enjoyed that video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're interested in web development, take a look below, and there's some great free web development courses down there, as well as some premium courses with some huge discounts for our YouTube subscribers. So check it out. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.